Hi, I'm Taylor Welch.
And I'm Tori Bailey.
And today we'll be making methane gas.
Before we begin, here are some general safety tips. First, whenever you're in the laboratory, always wear your safety goggles. Secondly, always put on your safety lab coat. This will prevent any dangerous chemicals from splashing onto your body or your clothing. For this specific experiment, we're going to wear our safety gloves. Methane gas is dangerous in high concentration. Also, we're working with organic material called manure, which can be pretty nasty stuff to touch.
For this experiment, the major component is this manure that we picked up from Mike's Feed Farm. Another material is this 5-gallon bucket that the experiment will take place. As you can see, we have this little valve here that'll open the airway to either allow or keep in the gas that will be produced. We also have this Mylar balloon and a regular balloon that we'll be testing to see which one fills up with the methane gas. We'll simply attach each balloon into the valve, turn it, and let the methane flow through. And our final material for this experiment is some simple water that we got from the hose.
The objective of this experiment is to produce methane gas, or CH4. To do this, we need one source of carbon and one source of hydrogen. Our source of carbon is the manure, and our source of hydrogen is the water.
For the first step of this experiment, we'll need to fill this bucket 1/3 of the way with the manure. Next, we have to fill it the rest of the way with water, just enough to the top to have a little bit of air so that it doesn't overflow. Once the water is almost all the way to the top, we'll seal it tight. Finally, we'll store it in a safe and warm place for the chemicals to react and form the methane.
This is what the 5-gallon bucket looks like when we are ready to test whether or not our methane gas is being made. First, we'll attach the regular balloon to the nozzle and open it by turning the valve. Methane gas is half the weight of regular air, so hopefully the methane gas will rise above and show signs of inflating the balloon. For our next test, we'll take a Mylar balloon and attach it to the nozzle. We will then open the nozzle, and as with the last test, we'll hope and wait to see signs of the methane gas inflating the balloon.
In our experiment of making methane gas, we're basically trying to recreate what happens in the environment. If you've ever closely looked at a pond, you may have seen bubbles rising at the surface. This is because the carbon made from the decomposition of leaves and mud and anything else found around nature combines with the H2O within the pond water. And the bubbles is the little methane gas that rises to the surface and is being captured in the bubbles. In our experiment, we were trying to recreate the same thing using the carbon from the manure and the H2O from the water, and instead of capturing it in bubbles in the environment, we're going to try to capture it in the balloon.
In case you missed anything, here's a quick recap of our experiment.
We tried to recreate the natural way of making methane gas using our own materials. Methane gas is also known as CH4.
We used the carbon from the manure and the hydrogen from the water.
Finally, we used the balloons to capture the methane gas and to test which type of balloon would inflate with the methane.